Welcome back to A View to a Grill. I'm Johnny. Today we're going to take this ribeye, then we're going to put it on the Weber kettle and reverse sear it to perfection and keep up with the internal temperature with the Typhur Instaprobe. The first thing we're going to do is prepare our ribeye. Just so you can see what we're working with, I got these ribeyes from the butcher's market of my local HEB. We just get them out of the package so you can see that beautiful internal marbling. Now if you like the fat cap on your ribeye, then you can just leave that on there, but I like to take it off of my ribeyes. Then I'll pat the ribeye dry with a paper towel. Once I've patted it dry, I can then salt the ribeye for dry brining. Now I'll just leave those ribeyes on my tray and grid and get those into the refrigerator for at least 8 hours. 30 to 45 minutes before we're ready to start cooking our steak is a good time to set up the Weber kettle. We'll start by cleaning our grill grates with CitraSafe. I'll just get that sprayed on, let it sit for a minute, and then scrub off all the grime and then wipe up all that mess. Now I can get the grill grates off and take a look at the leftover charcoal in the slow and sear. I'll just shake that out to knock off the old ash and then set the slow and sear back into the Weber kettle, then get our grill grates back on. Then open the top grate so that we're ready to receive our lit charcoal. Now I'll get my fire cup lit and then I'll set a full chimney starter right on top for lighting. While the chimney starter is going, let's go ahead and season our ribeyes. For the rub, we'll need some granulated onion, granulated garlic, kosher salt, and fresh ground black pepper. In a bowl, I'll pour in about 2 tablespoons of kosher salt, about a tablespoon of black pepper, about a teaspoon of granulated onion, then about a teaspoon of granulated garlic. Now I'll just get that stirred up, and when I was done, I had a bowl of rub that looked like this. We just take a quick look at the steak and you can see that all the salt has dissolved and all the juices have reabsorbed back into the ribeye. Now I'll just hit the ribeyes ever so lightly with spray avocado oil. Now all I'll need to do is season every surface of these ribeyes with the rub we made. And this is what my ribeyes look like after seasoning. While the ribeyes are sitting on the counter, let's take a look at this Typhur Instaprobe. We'll just take it out of the box. The box is very minimalist, but the probe is very well protected for shipping. Now you'll also find some documentation and 2 batteries. Look at the back and you'll have to unscrew this to install the batteries. All we have to do to turn it on is extend the probe. And the first thing, you can't help but notice that beautiful display. The Typhur Instaprobe also has a handy magnet if you want to hang this on the side of your refrigerator, and it also has a rotating display. What I'm most excited about is this 0.75 seconds industry leading full read thermometer that has lightning fast results. It looks like our fire is ready, so now let's get the ribeyes on. All we need to do is get our lit charcoal, put that into the slow and sear, and then we'll move that lit charcoal around for even heat distribution. And be sure to wipe up any ash that may have gotten on your grill grates. Now we'll preheat our grill by closing the lid. We're going to make sure that the top vent is wide open and the bottom vent is wide open as well. We let that go for about 5 minutes, and just for some time reference, it is now 5:45. We're going to leave our ribeyes on the rack and get them on the indirect side of the grill. Today, to manage my protein, I'll be using the Lamson 20-inch premium set of tongs. If you'd like a set of these for yourself, check out my link and discount code in the description. 10 minutes later at 5:55, we're going to check on those ribeyes. We'll get our Typhur Instaprobe ready. Now we'll just probe both of these steaks. Now it's pretty obvious that the internal temperature of the steaks have not risen by much, so we'll just close the lid and let these go for another 10 minutes. Then 10 minutes later at 6:05, we'll check on those steaks again. To get the most accurate temperature, you'll push the probe past the center of the steak. And since the Typhur thermometer is so fast, we should be able to pull it out slowly and see the temperature change in real time. So just notice as I'm pulling out the probe, the temperature is actually decreasing as we get to the center of that steak. Once we get past the center of the steak, it'll start increasing again because we're getting to the outside of the steak, which has been exposed to the most heat. My personal preference is to start searing when I'm in the 80-degree range. We're going to go ahead and sear our ribeyes. I'll just start off by spraying the hot zone with a little bit of avocado oil. Now we'll move both steaks over to our hot zone, and I'm going to start by letting them sit there for about a minute and a half. And then just for a little time reference, it's now 6:07. In this shot, you can see here that our fire is hot and the flames are actually touching the bottom of our steaks. After a minute and a half, I'll give them a quarter turn, but this quarter turn is not for beautiful sear marks. This quarter turn is just so that the flames will hit the bottom of our steaks in a different spot. So rotating the steaks give you a more even color when you're done. If you notice what the color was on the bottom of those steaks when I turned them, they needed more color. So I'm going to go ahead and let them sit for 2 minutes this time. 2 minutes later, we'll give both of our steaks a flip and check out that color. So it was the right call to let these sit for a little bit longer on the first side. Now I want to see where we are temperature wise. So I'll get the Typhur Instaprobe, push it in to what I believe is more than halfway through the steak, and then slowly pull it out. And you can see this time, as I'm pulling it out, the temperature dropped to 103.4 degrees, and as I passed the midpoint, it started rising again. A minute and a half later, instead of giving these steaks a quarter turn, I decided to rotate them, still maintaining that quarter turn. Grilling is so much fun, and sometimes things like this happen. Check out that flare up. Man, that went right into my camera. Pretty amazing. A minute and a half later, check out this color. This is an amazingly seared ribeye. Here's where a lot of you will call the steak police on me. Let's temp our steaks. So we're going to use that same method. We'll push the probe in past halfway and start pulling it out. This steak is temping at 118.9 degrees. If you like your steak at rare, you would take your steak off right now because it has all the sear that we're going to put on it. I like my steak medium rare to medium. So I'm going to put my steaks back on. Be mad if you want, it's my steak. I gave those steaks another 2 minutes. 2 minutes later, it is time to check our results. It is 6:16. We'll get the lid open, use our lamson tongs to pull that rack of steaks off. Now we need to shut down our Weber kettle. We'll get the lid back on, close the top vent, and close the bottom vent. If you would like one of these Typhur Instaprobes for yourself, check out my link in the description. And now take a look at these steaks. That's what I'm talking about. That is, for me, the perfect color for, well, any steak. Now we're going to get right into it, cut it right down the center for the money shot. For me, I'm really satisfied with these results. And now for our taste test, I'm going to slice off just a little piece and give you a closer look at what we've accomplished. And I absolutely love the color of this steak. I think the sear was great. The internal color for me was great. Now let's give it a taste. And oh my God, this steak is fantastic. Now, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, take a minute, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching A View to a Grill. I'll see you guys next time. Take care, y'all.